going to see one new topic. Okay, guys, are you able to hear my voice? Just confirm that so that I will continue. Once confirm me that you can hear me. Okay, fine, fine. So basically, what we have done till now is we started learning Salesforce admin. After that, we started understanding the Salesforce Apex programming. And then we started working on the Visual Force and we understood how to connect both of these things and work. Actually, till 2014, okay, if you know whatever you have learned till now, 10 years back, you are like expert, okay. But later, what happened is Salesforce introduced a new platform. So before 2014, okay, so we used to say that this is the sales. We used to say there are two things. One is the force.com, another one is the salesforce.com. So salesforce.com is a SaaS application which gives you sales cloud and service cloud, which you can use it directly, whereas force.com is a platform which will allow you to build your custom application from scratch using the Salesforce platform resources. So that is the difference we used to have. These are the two things we used to have 10 years back. But after that, what happened? Salesforce identified few drawbacks with this approach and then launched a new platform called Lightning Platform. So, what are the drawbacks that we have in this? First, we need to understand the drawbacks. If we go to developer console, here we are writing a Visual Force page, and here we are using an Apex class. But using these two things, okay, some okay. See, this is a website, okay. See how colorful this website is, okay. So, if I want to use my Salesforce or Visual Force, okay, front end Visual Force, right? Using that, if I want to build a website like this, it's not that easy, okay. So, what are the other options we have? That is, Visual Force is saying that if the outlook, if the output that I am giving you, if you are not happy with that, okay, if you are not happy with that output, okay, Okay, fine. So we are here, right? So if we want to build a front end website which is so colorful and using the existing Visual Force page, if that is not possible, okay, then what we can do is we can where is it? Where is it? Okay. So what we can do is inside this Visual Force page, we can write directly HTML code, or we can include CSS, we can include JavaScript. That is known as inline HTML, inline CSS, inline JavaScript. But if you want to build a application which in which we need to use lot of images, lot of designs, in that case that is not sufficient. If that is not sufficient, then what is the other alternative? The other alternative is you can write your complete VF related CSS or JavaScript, whatever you have, that you can write it in a file, you can store that file, and you can access that file. So that is what people used to do. So for a complex website, there might be many places we might use the similar CSS. So at one place you will write and you will reuse that any number of times. So for that we have a concept called static resources. Okay, so if we click on new here, and here you can upload a file, just give some name and you upload a file. This file can be a CSS file, this can be a JavaScript file. Like that we used to upload the file. Inside that file we will write the code, and we can access the content inside this file from our Visual Force page directly. Okay, but this is the solution that we have at that time 10 years back. With this solution, the challenge is if you want to make a small change also, what we need to do, you need to download this entire file, make that small change, again upload the entire file. In this process there is a chance that you may do a mistake, and the entire file, when you upload here, it will not throw any error, it will upload. But when you are using, it may work, it may not work. If you write it correctly, it will work. If you write anything wrong at that time, it will throw error. Okay, so this is the one of the biggest problem that we are facing using Visual Force page. The other problem is, if you are using, okay, the other problem is, for example, if you are using this, okay, if you are, so if I click on any button, then what is happening? Simply it is just changing the link. Or if I click on something here, okay, see, if I click on limited data, okay, no contracts, something like that. If I click here, what is happening? It is coming, but the link is not changing. Within the same link, all the information is present. But in Visual Force page, if you have seen yesterday, when we click on our output, see preview, okay, See, the link is getting changed. Okay. When I click 12, okay, then yeah. So every time I click, what is happening? The entire VF page is loading. See, the loading symbol is coming. It means for every small operation, what we are doing here, when I click every button, you are going to the Apex class and then executing and then again coming here. It means for every small thing, you are actually using the Apex. It means you are interacting with the server. So this is not a necessary. Okay. When there are huge number of buttons in a page, when you click each and every button and every time it is going to the server, and if it is getting you the reply, the number of calls to the server will increase. So this will impact the performance. Simple simple way I am telling you. See, if I ask you some information, if it is readily available with you right now, you can give it quickly. Or if you need to gather that information from somewhere and then you need to give, it will take time. Similarly, if you perform these simple calculations within your system means locally within your laptop or desktop, that will be easy, right? For small things also, why we need to go to the Salesforce server? Okay. If it is a calculation that I need to do on the database records, okay, or account records or position records, then those records are present in the database. At that time, there is no option I need to go to the Salesforce server. But if I have two values, both the values are with me, I just need to add these two values. In that case, there is no point in going to the Salesforce server. So for such kind of scenarios, okay, wherein if we can reduce the number of calls to the server, okay, then still we are using more number of calls. So that is one of the drawback. So the first drawback, what I told with the Visualforce page is, in the Visualforce page, okay, if you are using external CSS or external JavaScript, okay, and if you want to make modifications to that code, you cannot make it directly. You need to download your static resource file, make the changes, upload it again, and then test it. And if it is working fine, then fine. Otherwise, no. So that is one of the drawback of using Visualforce page. What is the second drawback is, for every simple transaction, for every simple thing also, you are going and hitting the server. Which is not needed. So we can do those things locally in our system. You don't need to hit the server for every small thing. If it is really needed, then it should go. If it is not needed, it should not go. So, but every time it is going. That is the second drawback. The third drawback is in a Visualforce page, if you make a mistake, the entire page will not load and it will throw you the error saying that there is some issue with this page. But if you divide the entire page into smaller blocks, like 4 blocks, if you divide, and if the mistake is there in the fourth block, the first 3 blocks should execute and should run properly. So that kind of modularity is also not there in Visualforce page. Whereas that kind of modularity is present in Lightning. So using Lightning, what are the advantages that Salesforce is bringing to us? Okay, that we'll see. చూసాం. క్రోమ్‌లో చూసావా? ఓకే. రైట్. సో, సంథింగ్. Okay. So, so Salesforce is saying that you will get these advantages if you use the Lightning. Okay. In Classic, you don't have the Kanban view. And in Classic, if you have reports and dashboards, if you want to store them in a folder, you can store them in different folders, but you cannot have a folder inside a folder. Okay. But that is supported in Lightning. Okay. So like this, there are so many features that you can get only in Lightning. Let me go with the standard Salesforce. I want you to give the easy version of this. Okay. Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud. Okay. Instead, if you go with the officially in platform. Okay. No, in developer guide. That is what I want. This one. Okay. Okay. So now, let me go deep into this. Okay. If very frequently Salesforce changes this information, so that's why it's always advisable to get it from here instead of using a downloaded PDF. Because if you download the PDF, if the information got changed, you will not get the latest information. So that's why it's advisable to use the online content. Okay. Here's classic. First, we need to complete this. Um, mm. He is giving information that will be helpful for a business owner, not for a person who is learning like you. Okay. This is what this will help you. See, what is the difference? Okay, so these are the differences in classic and lightning. What feature is available in classic? What feature is available in lightning? You cannot remember all these things. Just if you want, you can have a quick look of these things. So basically, before 10 years, when there is only one version, we used to call it as Salesforce Force.com platform. The platform name is Force.com and the application name is Salesforce.com. When Salesforce introduced Lightning, they renamed the class older version as Classic. I will give you an example which you can correlate with this one. See, 100 years back, people used to call photograph only photograph. Okay. When the color photo came in, then they used to start calling the black and white photo and color photo. Similarly, here, when there is only one version, then people used to call it as a Salesforce platform or Force.com platform. But now Salesforce has two platforms, I mean, two versions of it. One is the Lightning version, another one is the Classic version. So previously, whatever we used to do, okay, that everything they renamed it as Classic. Okay, the latest one is known as Lightning. So why we are moving to Lightning? So for this, Salesforce gave these answers. Salesforce said that, okay, these are the answers given by Salesforce. If you do anything on Classic, you need to completely go to the server to get the details for every small thing. But if you switch to Lightning Experience, if you switch to Lightning Experience, see, again, Lightning is different, Lightning Experience is different. Okay. So what is Lightning Experience means? If you do, if you do any configuration, if you do any configuration using the Salesforce Lightning platform, that is known as the Lightning Experience. So this is what Lightning Experience means. I'm not writing any code, just I am using the Lightning version. This is known as Lightning Experience. Okay. If I want to write my code inside the Lightning, that is known as the Lightning Component Development. So are the names confusing? Let me repeat the names again. 10 years back, when there is only version, people used to have only two things. One thing is the Force.com platform. Using that platform, you can build whatever you want. Other thing is the Salesforce.com application that you can use as it is or do some minor changes. Later, when Salesforce released the Lightning, it said that it is migrating or converting the existing thing into Lightning platform. So using the Lightning platform, you can build your new applications also, and you can see the existing functionality also inside Lightning. So if you do only configuration using Lightning, whatever you see, whatever you perform, that is under the Lightning experience. If you are building a new Lightning component, see, if I click on new, what is happening? This part is coming as a pop-up and here you are filling all these things. So this is a component. Okay, if I open this, here see details and this section is there. Right side, this section is there. So each one of this is a component in Lightning. See here, this on the top there is one part, and here there is one part, here there is one part, right side. So total, this page, Lightning page, is made of three different Lightning components. If there is some issue with this activity component, only this will fail, the other two will work. Okay. So Lightning components will work together inside a Lightning page. But if there is issue with the specific component, only that will stop, but others will work. Okay. So this is how the Lightning is advantageous when compared to the Classic. That is what Salesforce is saying. What Salesforce is saying, these are the three drawbacks that you face in Classic. What is the first drawback? If you want to build some extraordinary web pages, if those kind of web page UI is not supported with the basic Visualforce page, then you are going for CSS and JavaScript. Those CSS and JavaScript, if you want to reuse again and again, use that inside a static resource, and then your website will work. But if you want to make small change also, you need to download the static resource, make the changes, and again upload the static resource. So that is one of the challenge. But whereas in Lightning, directly you can make change only to this specific component, and you are not impacting the other two components which are working perfectly. But in Classic, if you make small change to the VF page through the static resource, and if this is causing some problem, the entire page will not get displayed. That is the first problem. The second problem is modularity. Here we have different components on the page. If you want to make change to one component, that will not impact the other components. And the third point is, for every small thing, you no need to go to the server. So instead of following the MVC architecture, in Lightning, we are following MVCC architecture, wherein model view controllers 2 will be there. CC, two controllers. One is the client side controller, another one is the server side controller. It means if it is a basic thing, you do it at the client side. It means using your computer resources, whether it is a laptop or desktop, whatever it may be. And if it is really needed, then only you go and hit the server. So that is the agenda. Is this clear, guys? Why Salesforce is moving from Classic to Lightning? While moving, what are the points Salesforce said that? And Salesforce said that if you are asking for every small thing to the server, the number of calls to the server will increase and it will impact your performance. Instead, if you perform the small things in your system only, then what happens? The performance will increase and the output, the result will be so quick that it is lightning fast. That is what the Salesforce want to convey to us. But the point is, previously, we are purely dependent on the server resources, where you only using the browser in our system. So at that time, whenever you are running any application within the Salesforce, it is independent of your system resources. Now, as Salesforce is using the Lightning platform, which is using the local system resources. Now, if you use the same, if you try to open the same application, Lightning application, in a computer which is having good configuration, like 8 GB RAM, like that, the performance will be different, or 16 GB RAM, something like that, i5 processor or i7 processor, the performance will be different. And if you are using a very old laptop or a desktop, the performance will be different. You can see the performance difference in Lightning, but in Classic, it will behave same, even you are using the high-end laptop or basic laptop. Why? Because every small change that you make, you are making it at the server end. Every transaction that you make, you are making it the server end. You are not using your local resources at any place in Classic. Whereas in Lightning, we are using our local resources along with the remote server resources. So you will see slightly some impact when you are actually performing. So What is Salesforce Classic? You understood. What is Salesforce Lightning Platform? You understood. What is Salesforce Lightning Experience? You understood. Is this clear? All these points. If you have any confusion, please let me know. Please ping in the chat window. Is this clear or is it confusing? Come on, please put it in the chat window whether you understood or not. I think this and this information will help you. Lightning will have a better UI. Visually, it looks good. Is this clear, guys? Or you did not understand anything? Please tell me in the chat window. Okay. Let me go to Salesforce Classic. Okay. In Classic, if you see now I am on home. If I click on positions, then what is happening? Oh, wait. When I now I am on home. Okay. If I click on positions, what is happening? The entire page is getting reloaded. How the entire page is getting reloaded? How can I see, sir? See, the URL itself is changing. See. So now I don't want the entire page to load. Only I want this small part also. In that case also, even if you click anything, entire page is reloading. Because of that, what is happening? Because of that, unnecessarily, see, whatever I click, the entire page will reload. It means for every small thing, you are going and interacting with the server. Let me put it in, okay, let me put it in Paint so then you will understand. This is our database. This is our server. Okay. This is our page. Okay. Inside the page, you have done something, or then what is happening from here? For every small thing, we are going to the server, and what server is doing from server, it is interacting with the database. Okay, and again, what it is doing, it is getting the information from the database, and then it is giving you back. For every small transaction also, this entire thing is happening. With lightning, what happens if you have a very small thing, for that you don't need server, you don't need database, then do it here directly in your system, in your laptop. That is what lightning is saying. So what will happen with this? The number of calls to the server will get reduced. So this is one advantage. The second advantage is what? The second advantage is, if you make a mistake, the entire page will not work. But if you divide that into smaller blocks and each block acts separately, then what will happen? If a mistake happens on one block only, then that block will get affected. The other blocks will work properly. Okay. So that is the second advantage. What is the third advantage? If you want to use external CSS, external JavaScript, then directly you cannot use it inside your code, and you cannot implement complex logics. Okay. In that case, all those things you will put it inside a static resource, and you will call that static resource, it will work fine. But in future, if you want to make a small upgradation or small change to that code, you need to download the static resource, make the change, and again upload the static resource. Again, if one small mistake is enough to break the entire thing. Instead, if you make it in a modular fashion means what? See, in this entire page, if it is built on Visualforce page, okay, you have already written some Visualforce pages, right? Go to your Visualforce page, you make some small mistake here, the entire page will not work. Yes or no? See, some small mistake, okay, some VI removing, that's it. Okay. Entire page will not work. One small mistake if you do also. But in Lightning, it's not like that. We are dividing the entire page into smaller sections, smaller blocks. See, in Lightning, what is happening? You are having a separate block for each thing. So in Lightning, we are saying that this top one, so this top one, sample 23, inside these three buttons, this is one block. This is another block. This is another block. If there is problem in this block, only this block will get affected. These two will not get affected. Okay. How can I see? How can I believe? Okay. If I click on edit page, see, it is giving me this. Okay. Okay. See here, if this, I am trying to put this right side, and if I put this left side, one second, activity is there, na? So See, here I removed that and I kept it here. I kept it again here. This one, you're understanding my point? If I keep it here, it is coming like this. We keep it here, it is coming like this. So this is a separate component, this is a separate component, this is a separate component. So here related lists are there. Okay. Inside related lists, position history is there. This one I want to keep it here. Okay. Instead of related, I want to keep it here. And if I click on save, so see now how it will look. Okay. So activation, activation is also done. Okay. Now let me go to this. Okay. Positions tab. Click on a existing position. Okay. I need to save it and activate it and post it. Then it will come. So I have not published it. Okay. That is the reason it's not coming. So you understood the point is right. This is one. This is another one. This is another one. Three different blocks. Each block can act independently. That is the advantage of Lightning. Okay. So why we need to move from Classic to Lightning? These are the three advantages that you need to mention. Is this clear now, Srinu? Anyone still having any doubt, please let me know. Fine. So two things that are there. One thing is the Lightning experience. How to use the Lightning experience? It is admin only. You using the see we are in Classic. You click on switch to Lightning experience, and if you use this one, it is nothing but the Lightning experience. That's it. But if you want to build a Lightning component, okay, that is known as the Lightning component development. So you will build a custom Lightning component, okay, which you can use in different places, like how we have created. Initially we have seen the UI which is by default provided by Salesforce, like page layouts. Later we created our own front end using the Visual Force page. Similarly here, whatever you see here, this comes under the Lightning experience. But if you want to create your own custom Lightning component, For that, we need to follow the custom lightning component development. Okay. So how Salesforce built that and how we are going to use that. Okay, that we will see now. So Aura, A-U-R-A, Aura is a framework. Aura is a framework which is used by different technologies to build their own development, environments. So what Salesforce did is Salesforce used a framework called Aura. Okay, Aura is a open source, means free framework. Using that framework, Salesforce created a new language that is nothing but the Lightning components. Okay, fine. So why Salesforce is using this Aura and what are these advantages of this? So Classic you have seen, Lightning you have seen. To build a Lightning component on our own, Salesforce gave us this platform wherein we can build our own components. So for that, Salesforce is using a framework which is freely available in the internet. So this framework, free framework, is Aura framework. And we are not directly using the Aura framework as it is. Instead, what Salesforce is saying that using Aura framework, we have created this some, see, in Visualforce page, we have some tags, right? Page block section, all these tags are there, right? So actually these tags are helping us to write a front end page with less amount of code. If you want to build the same thing using HTML, you need to write a lot of code, right? Similarly here, you have some syntax which is specific to the Aura component development or Lightning component development. Okay, so first we need to understand these things. What is Salesforce Lightning? Lightning component accelerate development and app performance. Develop custom components that other developers and admins can use as reusable building blocks. See, when you are kids, you might have played this game in your home. Like, you will have small building blocks. You can build that and you can build your own design, your own small house. Again, you will break all the pieces and you can build it in a different way, right? In the similar fashion, we have the Lightning components here, right? So the same components, if you rearrange in a different way, it will give you a different visual view, right? So that is what we are doing. You build the component once, and this component can be used any number of times by the admins just to put them in a different way, and they will get a different visually different output. Okay, so this is the advantage that Salesforce is saying. Okay, now if you want to write how to write code in Aura component, okay, so for that, what Salesforce is saying that creating components, if you go to this, so inside a Aura component bundle, okay, there will be different things. I know it will be slightly complex. So let me do one thing. Let me go to the developer console. So here in the developer console, if I click on new, we have clicked on Apex class, then what will come, what to do, you know. If I click on Apex trigger, what will come, what to do, you know. If I click on Visual Force page, what will come, what to do, you know. But if I click on Lightning component, then what will come? Okay. A new Lightning component bundle. Just putting sample 111. Okay. What will happen if I tick this tick box, check boxes? What will not happen? That we will discuss in tomorrow's class. For now, just so once if I create a new Lightning component, it is coming as aura component starting and ending. In Apex, I mean in Visual Force page, we have written Apex colon page. But for component, this is how it will start, this is how it will end. And in a Visual Force page, how it is in Visual Force page, starting with page, ending with page, that's it. Everything you will write it inside. But in component, it is not like that. Only the front end, what you want to display, those things you will put in the component, and the JavaScript you will write it here in the controller. And from JavaScript, if you want to go to a complex JavaScript method, from that JavaScript method, you will call the Apex class. From here, you will call the Apex class. Okay. And style, here you will write the CSS and documentation. If you want to put any documentation, you will put the documentation here. Renderer, if you want to describe any renderer information, that you will display right here. Design details, you will write here. SVG means logo kind of thing. Okay, those things you will write here. So the main point that we need to understand here is every single component will have all these separately. Every Lightning component will have its own component information, its own controller information, its own helper information, its own style information, its own document information. Previously, for the entire page also, we will not have all these things like this. So within the page only, you need to put some comment, and inside the comment, you need to write if you want to write some information. Inside the page only, if you want to write, you will just write script starting and script ending, and in between that script, you will write the JavaScript. So here, if you write like this, it will be so complex for any person to understand at a later stage. See, in IT industry, no single individual will build the entire application. If it takes 1 year or 2 years to build an application by a team of 10 members, so many people will join in between, and so many people will leave the organization and may move to the different company. So your system should be always in an understandable way, so that a person coming from outside should be also able to understand. Okay, so for those kind of things, this will become so complex, because here we have only few number of lines, it will be fine. But in Visual Force page, in a real-time environment, we will have 7,000, 8,000, 10,000 lines. In a 10,000 line code, it will be really difficult to figure out what is going right, what is going wrong. And if one line goes wrong in the 10,000 lines, the entire page will not work. So that is the complexity, that is the problem that people are facing with the Visual Force page. That is why we are moving to Lightning. In Lightning, what happens? Everything will have its own separate thing. Okay. So documentation, styling, JavaScript, everything will be separate for each and every component individually. Then what will happen? If something goes with this wrong with this component, only this component will get affected. The entire Lightning page will not get affected. Okay. So this is about the Lightning component. So now, how to write a new component from scratch, all these things and all, we will discuss in the next class. For now, what I want you to understand is why Salesforce is enforcing you to use Lightning. Because in Classic, we have these drawbacks. To overcome those drawbacks, we are going to Lightning. Once you understand this, and once you are able to write code in this one, Then I will tell you what are the drawbacks that are present in Lightning and why we are moving to the Lightning Web Component. Okay, once go through this recording, today's recording, I know that this is a bit complex for you to understand. Okay, go through the recording, get some basic idea. So tomorrow I will explain you how to write this code. Today itself I will not tell. I will give you some time to recollect and then groom yourself and adjust yourself to this new environment. So the environment will entirely change when you move from Classic to Lightning. Okay, each component will have, this is known as the Lightning component bundle. This is also one of the interview question. That is, can you please tell me what are the elements that are present in a Lightning component bundle? Then the answer is, the different elements that are present in a Lightning component bundle are component, controller, helper, style, documentation, render, design, SVG. So these are the different things that are present inside every individual Lightning component. Okay, I know you are fully confused. How can I do this? All those things. You no need to worry. The point is, you need to understand how this works, because Salesforce is providing a Lightning component library wherein for your requirement, what is the correct component, if you can identify, you can copy paste that. You need to understand how we need to write and you need to understand the code behind it. That's it. Once you get that basic knowledge, that is enough. For every possible requirement, already the component library is giving you the information. Okay, the output, it will, the respective code it will show you. Just copy the code, paste it here. That's it. If you want to make changes to the code, make changes, and appropriately, accordingly, the component will behave as per your new changes to that code. Fine. So this is known as the Lightning component bundle. These are the elements of the Lightning component bundle. Okay, is this clear till this point? So I think if I continue, if I continue, it may impact, I mean, it may create confusion. So I will stop it here. Okay, just go through this recording again 2-3 times today. Okay, then I will explain how to write the code. If I explain it today itself, it will be confusing. I can understand your situation. Fine. Okay, fine. Then you go through the recording, then you'll get some clarity. If you have any doubts, tomorrow we can discuss. Actually, we have time. I can start a new example here, but it will be overloaded for you. So that's why I'm stopping here. Okay, just go through it. If you still have questions or concerns, we can discuss that tomorrow. Okay, fine. Thank you.